tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Oh, hello, Internet. Or should I say, oh, hello, Internet. That's a terrible, right off the bat. Going in deep, going in hard, going in wrong. Hey, everybody. Welcome, AfterBuzzers, to another Archer After Show. This is Season 6, Episode 11, titled, oh, boy, Archud y Malaflude.
Archud y Malaflude.
Archud.
You gotta get like no, that's Hebrew. I'm going wrong.
You're going completely in the opposite direction. Who are we? Well, I'm Greg Goodness. You can find me on the Twitters at Greg Goodness, and with me today,
I'm Zach Wilson. You can find me on Twitter at @ThatZachWilson.
If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to our channel, youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV, or you can check us out on iTunes and SoundCloud, a whole host of platforms. Point is that you're listening. Don't forget to leave a comment about your thoughts, your opinions, everything you like, everything you don't. You can always tweet at us using the hashtag ABTVArcher. And, of course, you can use our Twitter handles as aforementioned previously in this episode.
There are so many ways to yell at and or compliment us.
And I do, just before we get started, I was sick last week, so thank you very much to @MDStyle09 and @ChalkAuthority for wishing me well and a speedy recovery. It was not. It was extremely painful, but I am back. And I'm back with some Archer, so I am happy. So thank you to Zach and Scott, who did a fantastic job last week while I was not in.
We did what we could.
You did what you could. It was just enough. Hey, everybody, we were in Wales this week on Archer.
And if you can't pronounce the title of this episode, you can just call it Save the Whales, which is what that translates to in Welsh.
I'm so glad that you looked that up, because I was like, okay, is this some sort of like weird pet name between Archer and Mallory? Because it's Artrude Mallory? I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was like, because the E, like just the Y makes me think it's Spanish, but like neither of the words around it look Spanish.
Right. But now we're in Wales, so it all makes sense. We open on that big winding countryside. I'm like, oh, all right, I get what this is all about now. And it's cool because we haven't seen this. This is one of the few locations, I feel like, in the Archer universe, literally the universe, because they've been to space.
Well, because, like, I mean, you're already invited. You've already got a James Bond theme going on here.
Right.
No need to just, like, smash it over the head. Like, putting him in a scally cap and putting him in a convertible, driving through Ireland, or through Wales/Ireland.
Oh my god. That's, for a legitimate second, I did think, I'm like, is he gonna go to a safe house and try to protect his mother? Like, is that what this episode is gonna be about? James Bond references, Skyfall references.
It would be actually really funny if they just did Skyfall.
Yeah, Archer version of Skyfall. But we didn't do that. We got to see a continuation of last week's episode where Archer got in some hot water after Akasha left her vaginal parts in the sink. I don't know why I thought saying vaginal parts would be better than saying vagina. Like, I'm somehow softening the blow. No.
Why is there a vagina in the sink? Still my favorite line of the season.
Yeah, so it was kind of nice to see that, okay, we're headed off towards the end of the season, right? We've started up this love interest again and their relationship again. So it sort of makes sense. It's a logical progression that, all right, we're going to have some carryover between these episodes now. And so Archer is trying to make up for leaving that vagina in the sink. Not that he left it, but you get the point. And Mallory very mad, and reasonably so, that she was drugged.
Lana.
Yeah, drugged.
Lana.
What did I say?
You said Mallory.
Oh my god.
I'm not going to try to dissect that psychologically too much.
The fever hasn't quite left my brain. And also, I'm still trapped up on Malaford. But yes, Lana. Lana reasonably so, that she was drugged and put on the back of a plane to the CIA, strapped in a seat, which is empirically better, and I will give Archer that.
Yeah, it's better. I like that he like clearly this is like either just an awareness of like you can't just do that, or like a network note of like if you're like, we're like, okay, you can drug her, but he has to go on a rant about how that's not okay to do to women.
Yeah, which is absolutely, I'm glad that they did, lest any young, impressionable Archer viewers get that somehow out of this episode.
The thing about that moment was that it was perfect because it like, yes, it called out the like, yeah, don't do this, but at the same time was just ridiculous. It was hysterical,
but it was kind of
somehow
sweet.
The way he did it was just, it was sweet
like
and hysterical.
You had that opportunity to somehow just like have someone wake up in a foreign country, like a beautiful foreign country, on a romantic vacation. Like, people go to extreme lengths to do that. There's YouTube videos of guys going like, hey babe, pack your bags because our plane leaves in an hour, we're going to Paris, and the girls are crying and everything. So all that he did, all that Archer did, was take out that middle step. He just took out the plane ride. It was there, right? I'm not advocating this. I want to make that very clear, internet. I'm not advocating what Archer did. I'm just saying one could see how he would think that it would be sweet. And I thought, you know, that's a good place to go if you want to make up, is like this romantic rolling countryside, which was beautiful, and the animation team did a great job of like making that whole world pop.
No, a farmhouse in the hills of Wales, very nice way to get away and just like have a romantic time to yourself. Thoughts for next time: don't invite two Welsh terrorists.
Yeah, Lloyd and David. I can't pronounce it. It was just one long syllable. David's name is just da. You just open your mouth and stuff rolls out.
It's okay, Lloyd. That's okay. That's all I heard the entire time. As soon as he opened his mouth.
Honestly, as soon as he walked in and opened his mouth, then I just heard that first, I said, oh god, it's Mice and Men. They're doing enough Mice and Men illusion. Wherever this is going, it can't be good. This is all going to be horrible and downhill from here. But those were really funny characters. Like, that was an interesting like little dynamic that they had going on. Yeah, no, it was fun. It was it was a good. I'm trying to find. You're just like, hey, it was fine. No, it was fun. I'm trying to remember the name of the guy that played Lloyd. Oh, in the movie? Well, you know, it's George and Lenny. No, Lloyd, our terrorist. Oh, who is the actor who played him? Yeah, because I think he also. I'm going to double check this before I go and expose it, but you think that there's some connection? No. I thought that it was kind of cool, though. Like, it's nice that we get to see that sort of duo dynamic again, which we haven't really seen in a while. It reminded me, actually, going all the way back to season 1, where you first had the interior decorators who were, like, sort of teaming up and having that little bit of play off each other. So it was kind of fun. It was kind of cool to see that it's Archer and Lana intruding on someone else's dynamic, as opposed to someone just like, what's going on with you crazy guys? You know? It's like they were sort of the central characters in this episode. Yeah, it was Matthew Rhys of The Americans, and he also got a story by credit for this episode. All right, well, good on you, Matthew Rhys, for doing a fantastic job of being Lloyd and calming down David. and using your non-violence techniques. I didn't catch Rosenberg's non-violent communication, which apparently would have really benefited everybody in Of Mice and Men, which has a very sad ending, everybody, not to spoil anything. That's what I thought was going to happen. I thought they were going to be like, oh my God, they're going to like have to take David out, and they're going to, again, spoiler alert, not of Archer, but of classic literature, and shoot him in the head by a pond. Like, that's where I thought this episode was going. And I'm glad that it didn't. But again, it was also cool because we got to see these guys totally screw up a mission.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. They raise a point in this episode that I hadn't really thought about. Is Slater setting them up on ridiculous missions that cannot be done successfully?
Setting them up to fail.
Yeah.
Oh.
I hadn't thought about it, but I can't remember who was that said it in this episode.
I think it was Lana who pointed it out. Yeah, it's like, why are we always going to these like crazy missions? And I get it that they're contractors, that they're like the third party that goes and, you know, the CIA can't be directly connected, man. I understand that angle. But now you've got my wheels turning. Is Slater setting them up to fail on purpose? Is Slater sending them out on missions knowing that they will fail, and that is the intended outcome?
Oh, like he wants
it's something, like
there to be problems with the
mission. They want, for
like
example, these terrorists to like go out and go free. They want this guy to wind up like knocked out and incapacitated,
or like the queen and the prince from a few episodes. They want to mess up relations.
Yeah. Oh my God, guys, we just inceptioned Archer and Slater specifically. Is Slater the smartest man in America? And yet he wears that stupid t-shirt.
Don't judge a book by its t-shirt.
That's true. Oh my God, that's very bizarre. Speaking of t-shirts and things that you can write stuff on, everybody, if you are feeling kind about us and you want to leave a little bit of love, and go over to our iTunes page. You can, first off, subscribe to this fine podcast. Subscribe to many other fine AfterBuzz TV podcasts. There are loads of them. Zach, you're on many of them.
Yeah. There are 100 shows just in 1 week
and we
you can subscribe to.
We do it for free! I don't know where I pulled that voice out of, but I definitely just did it.
But you guys get it all for free, and all we ask is for a little comment love in return.
And if you don't do it on the iTunes page, you can go ahead and pop over to YouTube. Give us a thumbs up, give us a comment, let us know what you think, let us know what you're up to through some crazy algorithm that I will never fully understand. Keeps the lights on in this place, so we always do appreciate it. We got to give a few shout outs to people from last week. Tosca Greenwood saying, first time watching this and I'm hooked right away. The people discussing the topic are friendly, relaxed, clever, and enthusiastic. I'm a little hurt because I wasn't there, but yes, I agree. Zach and Scott are all of those things and more. They're fantastic. Gustavo Uvalara saying, again, I apologize, Gustavo, I'm slaughtering your name. Sigh, the vagina, the sink. I should have seen that coming. And he also believes that maybe Woodhouse is stuck in the bottom of a laundry chute, which I think is probably as probable.
I'm going to call phrasing on should have seen that coming.
And Kay Hardage saying the slideshow reference comes from Wendell Stamps of Frisky Dingo. We got another Frisky Dingo fan in the house. Yes! Yes! I'm tying everything that I can back to Frisky Dingo and Adam Reed's previous work. So I am very thankful that we got that.
What if Archer is just a Frisky Dingo daydream?
Okay, that's a little too far. A little bit. But still. It's good. I like it. And there are so many other awesome people who are commenting. We don't have time to say them all on air. But thank you very much. We always appreciate it. Keeps us powered up through the week. So thanks, guys. It's awesome. Now, there is one other outstanding issue to discuss in this episode.
Which is?
Ray's black arm.
Oh my God.
We talked about it before, where we're like, okay, something obviously has to happen with Ray's arm.
I mean, clearly he was going to get a robot arm. That was like not ever a question.
But here's the thing is, I don't think it's a robot arm. I think it's a human arm, a prosthetic arm.
Oh my God, is it Conway's arm?
I think it is. I think Krieger, he was working on Conway's arm before, right? We've seen that. So it would make sense. They had his hand, like his entire forearm, after the briefcase got ripped off.
Both times.
Yeah. So I think they replaced Ray's arm with Conway's. And I'm really hoping for an idle hand situation where, like, Conway's arm is trying to do nefarious things while Ray is trying to... No, I don't hope for that. I don't hope for that, but it would certainly be interesting.
That would be funny if it's just Conway's arm.
I never put it together. You laid it out so perfectly, though. It makes absolute 100 sense. God. Yeah, because that's what I was expecting. I was expecting like the robot arm or like a blaster cannon or something like that. I think this might be a real human arm, a real Conway human arm.
The whole sequence with the, as Lana put it, the idiots.
Yeah,
we can call. I've just started calling them the drones, but yeah, the drones, the idiots.
I think it was Archer who called them the idiots.
I think they both did.
Yeah, they're idiots in everyone's eyes, except their own, and even their own, to be fair.
But it was a funny bit. I mean, like the instant that they're on screen, they're like, I'm like, oh, okay, they're doing MASH. It's like, give me a hand.
Hand job.
Yeah.
Which everyone, I was thinking right away. And when it took me a second too to figure it out. I'm like, why do they keep talking about hands? Oh, of course, they're working on Ray.
Oh yeah, the instant somebody, as soon as we got two hand jokes, I'm like, oh, Ray's on the table.
That's so, yeah. And I had to Google this too, but I'm uncomfortable talking about it on air, but they brought it up in the episode. Spear Chucker Jones, an actual character.
Yeah, for anyone who thought that was just a joke, that was like, oh, this would be a funny thing to like, as if it was real. No, it's real.
Yeah.
That was absolutely a thing that MASH, critically acclaimed darling of classic television MASH, is have a character.
On national television in the not too distant past.
Yeah.
Oliver Harmon, and I'm reading from Wikipedia now. Oliver Harmon, in quotes, Spear Chucker Jones. This is horrifying. This is awful. Why? Why MASH?
It was a simpler time.
Don't say simpler. It was horrible. It was a horrible time, apparently. Oh my God.
You're not wrong.
But they did a great job of like discussing it and bringing it out, and now we're all a little bit wiser for it.
And then that reveal at the end, just like, yeah, how did we get started on this? Well, the MASH thing was there. If anything, it was too obvious. But how we get started on the African American characters bit, I don't know.
Yeah, Krieger doing his Groucho Marx bit, like, oh my God. This is so weird. Just so incredibly weird. I had just thrown it away because once they started discussing like MASH characters and like that thing, I was just like, okay, they've just gone off the deep end. Like, we're just gonna hang out and have a talk about pop culture for a while. This is gonna be like the Clerks episode of Archer, where we just go in and we talk about pop culture for a while. It has nothing to do with anything. But then they all tied it back together at the end in the most horrible fashion possible.
Yep.
It was a weird episode of Archer. A very weird episode of Archer.
To say the least.
And stray observation, we're doing Glenn Gooley ads inside of Archer now.
What was that?
That was so insane. That was beyond the realm of insanity, but it was funny. It was, and we screen captured this. So in case you're wondering, Glenn Gooley offers a Sterling edition. I would imagine it's like certain whiskeys and what have you, bourbons, offer different color levels.
Oh yeah, I mean, what's the closest thing to Glenn Gooley that they're making? Well, like,
don't say it on the air unless they're gonna send us cases of it.
Fair enough. You have been notified. You know who you are.
Companies.
Yeah, but yeah, blue. I mean, they've shown blue before.
So the Sterling edition is like next step up.
Yeah.
That's the top shelf stuff. 43% alcohol by volume, and the catchphrase "for the best of times," which I liked. That was a good one. Other stray observations, just the parade of insulting things that they call David, Lurch, Gort.
I love Gort. I love that they dropped a "Day the Earth Stood Still" reference into the middle of this insane episode.
Hey, it's great. It worked. It totally worked. Frodo P. Gryffindor, which I think was a very weird name for Lloyd, but also very cool. Closet Rampage is a new favorite and something that I feel like I'm going to be like Cubicle Rage or like some sort of condensed version of that. Oh my
Cubicle Rage.
I'm looking through my notes and I just have so many instances where I just wrote weird. I think my favorite part of my favorite like line or like two lines in this episode is when Lana's like, "So you drugged me." Is the fairy tale about a woman who was drugged and dragged and kidnapped? That's literally, you realize that's like every fairy tale. It's true. Guys, fairy tales are horrifying. Look it up. Also, just, again, straight observation. Talked about it a little bit, but animation team, that car crash sequence, beautiful. Very smooth, but jittery, but like very cinematic. Loved it.
The two things that have turned into like the top of the Archer animations have become anything with cars and Lana making out with people.
That's true.
Or just making out in general, I guess.
I'm partial to the new facial expressions that people have managed to find throughout this season.
Yeah.
Mostly Cyril getting slapped by Archer and Ray figuring out that his pig died. Those two facial expressions I want tattoos of. Anyways, we got a lot to discuss based on the little snippet they showed us from next week. So what do you say we throw this over to the spooky theremin music?
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV prediction.
Makes me feel warm inside, that spooky theremin music.
Coming up next week, Drastic Voyage, Part 1.
Oh, Drastic Voyage.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Okay.
And yeah, because the last two episodes is a two-parter.
Okay. So it's Drastic Voyage Part 1 and then Drastic Voyage Part 2.
Yep.
So what is that going to entail in your mind?
I mean, I can't take the credit for it. You were the one that noticed it.
Well,
in the screening.
All right. Well, here's my prediction. Obviously, Drastic Voyage connotates Fantastic Voyage, which would be shrinking down super small. But that spaceship, and I say spaceship because it's definitely a spaceship, look a whole lot like the spaceship from Independence Day. Like, that was the hangar scene from Independence Day. Totally. So I think they're going to get control of some sort of alien spacecraft, which we know aliens exist now.
Yeah.
Thanks, Area
51.
Although
now that you see, I had totally latched onto that theory. I liked it until you just said something better.
Which is...
Because, you're right, Fantastic Voyage, like going inside the human body.
Okay.
That's totally something Archer would do.
What are they going to go inside? Who are they going to go inside?
AJ?
That's a little on the nose. Why would the government be throwing money at baby AJ? They got to be going in someone important, I bet.
The president?
Ooh.
What if they have to save the president's life by going, oh my god, by miniaturizing themselves to go? Because it does also, the ship, you're right, it looks like a spaceship, but it also looks like the Fantastic Voyage ship.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see, everybody.
Interesting.
All right.
I'm sure there's already a description, and this is like,
this is all a moot point.
somebody listening to this is like, you guys are idiots. It's like not either of those things.
It's clearly about a bicycle tour of Europe. Whatever. We're trying, everybody. All right. Do we have any stray observations before we go? Zach, any last-minute thoughts here?
Archer's life is literally a farce.
As it commonly is. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. We always appreciate it when you guys tune in. We always appreciate the comments, the concerns, the well wishes, thoughts. Get it all out there. Put it on YouTube. Like we said, put it on iTunes. Subscribe, rate, comment. Do all of those things because we love it. We love you. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you next week.
Where can we find you?
Yeah.
They can find me on Twitter at Greg Goodness.
You guys can find me on Twitter at @ZachWilson, and also here at AfterBuzz, a whole bunch of shows. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Grimm comes back tomorrow night. We'll be here on Sunday discussing it, and a bunch more. Thank you for tuning in.
Now we'll see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.